Join the movement. Listen to the Tory Lowe Show on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, the locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. There are so many things that are happening today, and so many things that are, I don't know. It's unfortunate that, thank you, sir. It's unfortunate that things take the turn that they turn. But life happens. Life happens, and sometimes you have to stand on your own decisions, right? So, yep. This election, this voting, this time of the season has got people doing what I think are ridiculously stupid things. And no, I'm not calling them stupid. I'm saying what they are doing is stupid. So I just find it I just find it interesting that decisions that people make really reflect how you feel about other people, but it then also reflects what you think of other people and how you look at yourself by decisions you make. They're increasing security for the Milwaukee courthouse on Election Day. They're going to shut down 10th Street. They're going to have police escorts going through the absentee ballot results, all that stuff. We seem to have this thing in our brain that democracy only looks a certain way when it's done a certain way, which is just idiotic. There are changes that need to be made, changes that need to be made room for, because life is changing and evolving and moving forward, and technology and people and generations. And it's important to move certain things aside and allow for growth. For instance, out in somewhere, I don't know, out west, we got some knucklehead burning ballots for absentee voters. Can't even say the word. Burning ballots for absentee voters because in their mind, they probably think that liberal people or Democrats or independents vote absentee, and like conservatives or Republicans vote on the day of. Well, I think both are idiotic because it doesn't matter when you vote. Just vote if you decide you want to vote. But we have this thing going on. Well, we have to take extra measures and metal detectors and all that. I get it. You need all that. But at some point, this is an example of why we need alternative ways to vote. Take the time, look at very specific security needs as it relates to technology, as it relates to encryption, all those things, and make sure that it's taken care of. Now, one of the beautiful things about it is that your vote is transmitted downtown via cellular that's encrypted, and it's also in the machine, so you can then take them out and take them downtown and count them. So it doesn't matter which way you try to intercept or mess it up, it'll still be counted. The problem is we try to do this all in one day, so we have to become so efficient that you got to get the count done within 24 hours. And it's just ridiculous. It's just idiotic. We had some places that counted in 2015 that didn't want to release it because Donald Trump had won. They held on as long as they could, and then they had to release the findings. Then we had places that wanted to hold on to it because Joe Biden won. And so we got to hold on to it because we don't want to release it because he'll win. But somebody's going to win. So let's do this. Let's not have a count of who's winning. Let's put people in the room. Let's put people there so that they get to count, but you don't release it until they won. All this, so-and-so is in the lead. They got 216 electoral votes and they need 270. Well, so-and-so's got 100. Let's not do that. Let's just wait till the end and say, here it is. And we have people from both sides, including an independent, from both sides of the aisle, including independents, stand there and represent their candidate while we vote it. And put a judge on hold and chill and just count the ballots. That way we can take a couple days. This way we can have, since we, somebody said this was funny. I said, let's have a federal holiday where people vote. Well, I don't know, we already got enough holidays. I said, clearly we have enough holidays we can cancel right now. Like why we celebrate President's Day is just a dumb, I don't even know. Or why do we celebrate Indigenous Day, but we don't celebrate Black History Day, or we don't celebrate Irish Day, or we don't take the day off, right? Did we take off for St. Patrick's Day? No. So why are we taking off for president? Like those little things, right? Let's put something on a Friday, make it a 3-day weekend, and you got 3 days to vote. Let's make it, I'm sorry to say, something where you use your fingerprint or your eye or your facial recognition and you get to vote electronically. And you can sync your phone and then you can vote and can't nobody steal it, can't nobody take it. Something has to be done. Otherwise, we're going to lose the ability of young people to vote. Because I'm going to tell you, folk are lazy. But they're not lazy of their own volition. They're lazy because we made them lazy. We gave access to so much technology that nobody really has to move. Nobody ever has to just stand up and say, hey, I'm leaving. But let's take this knucklehead out west who decided he wanted to burn down and start a fire on the ballots. And I thought about that. And I thought that it was kind of dumb. Washington State and Oregon, police are looking for a person who set fire to ballot boxes. Hundreds of ballots were destroyed by fires this week at 2 ballot drop boxes in the Pacific Northwest. They're searching for a culprit they say is responsible for both. Many of the ballots in the drop box in Portland were unaffected, but hundreds of ballots were destroyed in a second ballot box in nearby Vancouver, Washington. Election officials said, and incidents are believed to be related to a third incident earlier this month in Vancouver. So here's the problem I have with this. So you're burning ballots, which clearly is a federal offense. It's election tampering. It's arson. So we got all sorts of federal and state charges we can hit you with. The problem I'm having with it is that, do you realize what you'll lose if you get elected? So here you are trying to stop somebody else from voting. But there are only 2 things you're going to lose. When you get sentenced, you're going to lose the 2 most important things in your life today. So burning down ballot boxes, you get arrested and charged, and you're convicted, you lose your life and voting.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth. Need a way to hype up your day?
This is Southside Serious.
Southside, this is 1017 The Truth, and you are our Gruber 5K giveaway.
Oh, man, I can't believe it, man. You guys are so great, man. You're doing so much for the community. I really, really appreciate you guys.
What would you do with $5,000?
I got 2 boys. I got an 18-year-old. I got a 15-year-old, and, man, I'm going to give it to them.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
CBS Tonight.
If there's more violence coming, we can stop this together.
My team is on their way. Let's get to work.
New FBIs are back.
The assassins are inbound.
He has a knack for finding the suspect.
I'm too old for this crap.
CBS Tuesday.
This will be dangerous.
Must be Tuesday.
Is FBI Night.
I want you to trust me.
I trust you.
Tonight on CBS 58. The CBS 58 News at 10 with Natalie Shepard.
I think if you watch the other stations, you might think nothing good ever happens in Milwaukee, and we know that's just not true.
And Jessup Riceback.
We do find solutions to some issues in our communities.
We are focused on finding stories that are impactful, and I think that's something that really sets our newscasts apart.
It is an honor to sit in those chairs on that desk and help tell those stories.
Jessup and Natalie. Weeknights at 10 on CBS 58, your hometown station.
The Greater Milwaukee Urban League Ball is sold out, but you can still join in the fun and support the work of the Urban League. Participate in a special online silent auction of great prizes and experiences. Auction items include a night at Milwaukee St. Kate Hotel, an autographed Packers football, baseball, hockey, and soccer tickets, and a special evening at Lake Park Bistro. Go to the Urban League's website and click on the black and white ball tab. Visit tmul.org. Let the bidding begin.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices. Milwaukee, Black Talk.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Listening to Truth in the Afternoon. What an appropriate song. By the way, Truth Nation, tune into our final Truth on Politics tonight, 6 to 8 p.m. Great opportunity for you to find out what you need to know about local and national and county and all the other stuff, elections. We'll also examine the presidential candidates. We'll talk about all those things that are happening with generations and genders and all that stuff. Don't miss Truth on Politics tonight, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Myself, Tori Lowe, and Jason Fields going to be on the award-winning 1017 The Truth Milwaukee Black Talk. So make sure you come hang out. We've given away money this week. It's just so much stuff going on this week on The Truth. It's crazy. I am glad it is 8 days from today. We will know who the president is, and then nobody will care. And half the country will be like, yay! And the other half of the country will be like, boo. And that'll be that. I just hope we don't need all this extra security and all that other stuff going on, because we got to let that go. We just got to let that go. Speaking of elections, 833-212-1017. Are you working the polls next week? Give me a call. I want to know what you're looking for. Are you working? Anybody working the polls? I am too. I work every election day. I'm with an organization. I'm with a couple organizations that adopted poll sites, so the organization gets paid, but we do the work. And so that's what I've been doing 10 years, 12 years, might even be 15 years. It's been a while. It's been a while. And so they're looking for election inspectors. And a spokesman for the Milwaukee Election Commission told, this is where the story comes from, JS Online, morning shifts have been filled and afternoon poll workers are being prioritized, adding that full-day shifts are still being considered as well. Afternoon shifts runs from 1 until closing procedures are completed. And a full-day shift runs from 6 a.m. till the end of closing shift. They're pleased to report that the poll worker recruitment is strong and on track to be staffed by Election Day. I just went through my training the other day, Monday afternoon, so I did that. So how do you become one? Well, you got to go to, I would say just Google how to become a poll worker in Milwaukee, or go to the Milwaukee Election Commission website, and they'll be able to get you some information on how to do that. Sign up soon, because they're going to be having training this week, and so if you train, you got to fill out the information and all that. Let me see. So if you work a full day shift, that's from 6 a.m. till they're done with the procedures and send them in, that's $220 stipend. If you work a half a day, it's $117. Training is compensated at $45, and bilingual poll workers receive an extra $15. And those who want to be paid have to fill out paperwork and bring documentation by their training date. So just so you know. And they got the place here, or if you want to go to JS Online, they've got a story about by Kaylee Gleason. Milwaukee is looking for more poll workers on Election Day. So go to that, scroll down, and you'll see where you can just click for more information and become poll worker. Are you a poll worker? 833-212-1017 is the number. I want to know why you're a poll worker. What, why, why are you a poll worker? Or is, why is it important to you to become one? Because I think it's important for the process that people are there to witness the process so that if anybody has any issues or questions, there's somebody there, hopefully, that they would trust. And there's not a lot of, well, I don't trust it because, Jason was over there and I don't like Jason, so Jason probably doing something wrong. Well, but if you know Jason and if you know he's a stand-up guy and he signed up to be a poll worker, an election worker, then you should probably feel safe in the process. And so I've never seen in my life, I've never seen an election like this. I've never seen an election that held so much animosity on both sides. It's just strange. I really don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't really get it. To not be liked for being in the middle or for challenging something someone says is foreign to me. If you believe something, you should be able to step up and speak about it. So if you say something about the election, right, you should be able, if somebody says, hey, well, what about this or that? You should be able to step up and respond to that. Here's why. And then respect what you say. Right? We're in a time where everybody has to agree. Everybody has to conform. Everybody has to check the box. And if you don't, you're ostracized. Now, living in Milwaukee, let me just be frank. Milwaukee is one of them cities where sometimes I love being from Milwaukee because I've been here for 30 years. And other times, I ain't cool with it at all. Because I got to tell you, of all the cities that I've been to, visited, lived in, y'all can be some backstabbing, career-ending, shenanigan playing people. And I don't understand that. It's like you want to be great, but you can't be great in spite of yourself. It's like you want to be, but you can't be because there's always some mitigating circumstance or something going on. And I don't get it. Nobody is straightforward. Nobody is upright. Just say, hey, DJ Brother Z, I need such and such. And if DJ Brother Z can't do it, he says what? I can't do that. And then I say, okay. But we go into the periphery and go around and do all this other stuff or badmouth people or do whatever we do instead of just saying, hey, sometime you have to shout and dance while the other person stars. It really isn't the victory, it's the fight you make. And I don't know if people in Milwaukee are ready to fight. They act like they're going to fight. But then when it looks like their particular interests are not being catered to, they slip away. And that's unfortunate. I think I'm always expected to take the upper road and be the better person and do all the things. But at some point, you have to stand up for yourself. And I hope people that are voting stand up for themselves. I hope people that are voting stand up, and whoever they're voting for, vote for them. Don't tell anybody who you're voting for. This rah-rah group thing that we're always into, be it conservative or liberal, Republican or Democrat, we have to stop that and just vote for who you're going to vote for. And if anybody asks you, tell them none of your business. And if they challenge you, oh, you must be, as if they're bad-mouthing you, you must be voting for Trump. Oh, you must be voting for Harris. Tell them it's still none of your business. Remember, there used to be the old saying, things you never talk about at the dinner table, politics and religion? It's easier to talk about religion today than it is politics. That's weird to me. I could literally talk to you about you being a Shia Muslim, and we can have a conversation with me being a Christian and talk about the similarities and all that. I remember a day we were killing each other. You're a what? Huh? Now, everything's open. You could be Sikh, Hindu, Baha'i. Let's talk about that. Let's look at, this is why I believe Christianity is the most important and the religion for the world, blah, 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 blah. Right? Nah, you could do that today. What you can't do is talk about politics. People fight, scream, burn ballots, which is kind of idiotic if you think about it. You believe in voting so much that you burn somebody else's ballot? Like, how stupid are you? And then you go to federal prison and lose your life because you know you're going to go for a long time. And your vote? You didn't realize that, right? When you're a convicted felon, if you're on paper, probation or parole, you can't vote. So all they're going to do is fill out there. Hey, did you put your ballot in here? Yeah, well, it hasn't been turned in, so we need you to resubmit it. Okay, and they'll resubmit it, and you're done. And that fire thing is over. But then you'll end up in jail, and literally the one thing you lose is your vote. So because you tried to stop everybody else from voting. Now, those are the types of things we need to start doing. We need to take from people, oh, you want to burn their house down? Where do you live? Okay. You don't have to go to jail. We're taking everything that you own, all of your bank accounts, and all of your furniture. And if you own a house and you burn somebody's house down, we're taking your house. We're done. Okay, we're done. That would stop a lot of crime. I think it will stop a lot of crime. 833-212-1017 is the number. When I come back, I got to check a talk and text line because I've been, I want to go back to the 4-day work week, though, because Jason, his eyes lit up when I talked about it, and I don't really understand that. Maybe it's a generational thing. Do you prefer to work 4 days out of the week instead of 5? Because if you do, they might not come back on Monday. Take a 4 day. I don't know. 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon, traffic, sports, weather, all that stuff up next.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
People will tell you that race is a social construct and that there's no biological reality that distinguishes between a white individual and a black individual. So what does that mean if there are these quote-unquote disparities, right? It means that the way we move through a society is markedly different, right? And that the experience that we have has biological consequences. Is when you're in a society where people are constantly discriminating against a certain group, denying access, don't have control over the institutions that govern our lives. All of those things create a biological reality and a response, whether it's a stress hormone or a fear or something that could be passed on, what we call epigenetics, which means what my mother or my grandmother experienced had an effect on what formed me in my responses to those stressors. That's how we can be two individual people with very little difference, but have totally, vastly different experiences as we move through our reproductive reproductive health.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Make Milwaukee work for you. 1MKE provides easy-to-use information on local, state, and federal programs that can save you money and improve your well-being. Discover events you can attend to get involved in your community and find nonpartisan resources to help you make your voting plan for the upcoming election. 1MKE envisions a future where every Milwaukee resident understands how being civically engaged can help us create a healthier, stronger city. Because together, we are one Milwaukee. Learn more at 1mke.org.
Trouble in the Zoo interchange. We have the ramp from northbound 894 to eastbound 94 closed right now because of a crash. So you'll need to avoid that area. If you can, you'll have to either head east on Greenfield Avenue and get on at 84th Street or beyond. So be careful with that. The westbound side's going to be slow from 16th Street all the way to about Hawley Road. Southbound 43 backing up from Silver Spring down to Capitol. Back on the brakes from Locust all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. More delays then heading down towards the KK River. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy, windy, a low of 66. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, windy, and warm. Evening and night storms, a high of 78. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Bucks fell for the third straight time last night, this time to the Celtics in Boston by a final of 119-108. Despite falling to a 1-3 start, Giannis says it's way too early to panic.
It's the fourth game of the season. Even if we suck, even if we were very, very bad, it's the fourth game of the season. Like, you have to be optimistic.
Next up for the Bucks is a matchup in Memphis on Thursday night. Over to the NFL, where the Green Bay Packers got encouraging news surrounding quarterback Jordan Love and his groin injury on Monday.
He seemed like in good spirits. If he can go, he'll go. We'll see where he's at by the end of the week, and if we feel like he can't protect himself, then we certainly wouldn't put him in that position.
According to multiple reports, an MRI showing nothing serious for number 10, who is now considered day-to-day. And lastly, over to baseball, where the Dodgers took a 3-0 lead with the 4-2 win last night in New York. They'll look to clinch the World Series title tonight. Game 4's first pitch is set for 7:08. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Remember, FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Think about how you hear things, right? Think about how you process things, because sometimes when I say things, people send me notes and they only hear part of what I say. And I find that interesting. They only hear the part that they want. They only respond to half of what you say. And then they pretend like you don't know what you're talking about, and then they start like their own media campaign for the candidate that they want. And I think that's unfortunate. Brandy said, I just applied today, proud to say my high school daughter will be as well. So how old you got to be a... Anyway, this will be my first time. Outstanding. Outstanding. Good, Doc. You are 101.7% correct. Childish bad-mouthing was on full display on Sunday at Madison Square Garden. Klan rhetoric being spewed all over the place by the Third Reich. LOL. Well, here's the thing. When we're at a point where comedians, the only reason you don't like this white comedian is because he was at the Trump rally. But if we had a comedian that has said things like this, and they have, both black, white, Hispanic, and Asian, it's a comedian. Why is it racist when he says it, but when we say it, it's not? Or when we talk about white people, why is that okay? Like, I'm just trying to equalize the understanding of what we complain about. We only process through the parts of us that we agree or disagree. And then we just dismiss the rest of a comment, the rest of a issue. I don't understand that. Make up your own mind about what you want to do, and you don't have to tell anybody. It's nobody's business who you going to vote for, who you think somebody else going to vote for. Just handle your own. 833-212-1017 is the number. Mike, you are on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Ken, I have it's a question not related to what you're talking about right now.
Okay.
But this is related to what you can do as I need advice right here. I have a nephew, Saturday. It's in the news right now. Age 20. He's at home, takes care of sister, 16. Takes care of grandma because grandpa just died.
Okay.
Sister 16, still in the high school, has baby, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Young man is 20 right here, who I'm talking about. Just got promoted to manager, great kid, beautiful, beautiful young man.
Mm-hmm.
Told her right then, hey, this kid, the baby's daddy, who you just had at 16,
mm-hmm.
has to go home. He's being disrespectful, okay? This is on the news right now. So then what happens is the little girl, they're both in school together. She's at home because they have a baby. He goes to school. The father drops him off at this house for 4 days at a time. Don't come back. Pay attention right here. Then all of a sudden they have this. He's been disrespectful to the grandmother. A fight pursues. Hey, I need you to go home. I need you to go home. Get out of here right now. She already has a black eye, so the boy's beating her up every day for whatever reason. We don't know. The grandmother, I tell you to get out. We have a registered gun. Take our registered gun. Boom. In the fight, the guy gets shot. Young man runs away. When he runs away, he then returns, turns himself off to police who are he's in custody, age 20. Sister runs in street, killed my baby daddy, killed my baby daddy. Baby daddy is dead. The baby then goes with the police. Then everybody tries to get there. Too many police cars. Get the baby. They won't give food because you have a very young baby who's on. She's breastfeeding. Finally gets to mom. We leave him over there. She's going hysterical about her brother just shot. Okay, so now he's in custody.
Wait. So is the brother dead or the brother's just shot?
Yeah, no, yes, he is. He died right there on the scene.
Now this is whose brother? This is the 20-year-old's brother or the 16-year-old's brother?
Okay, the 16-year-old is his sister.
Right.
The
guy that was
20-year-old
killed.
Shot boy. Yeah, he killed his sister's boyfriend, baby boyfriend. They're both in high school. She's doing homeschooling.
Okay, stop, because you're giving too much information. Stop.
Okay.
Who killed who?
Fine.
So you have the 20-year-old boyfriend.
20-year-old.
Listen to the question. You have the 20-year-old boyfriend and the 16-year-old girl. They have a baby in common.
Yes.
Who has a brother?
No. 20-year-old has sister who has baby by 17-year-old boy.
Okay, you mentioned
so you got two kids, 17 years.
Got it. And so there's a fight. There's a beef about disrespect. Who shoots who?
20-year-old shoots 17-year-old.
Okay, the brother.
20-year-old shoots sister's
boyfriend. Baby's dad.
Baby daddy.
Okay.
Baby daddy.
Okay.
Boom. And then 20-year-old runs away.
And then he turns himself in to the police.
Yes, sir.
And the 17-year-old is now dead.
Yes.
Okay. So what's your question?
Dead. My question-year-old then, father of 17-year-old, comes over. We find out that the father is the baby daddy. At this point, he wants to leave town. Is he baby daddy, too much information or not? He is the one who is the baby daddy.
What's your question?
My question to you is, what do you do at this point if boy in custody? Who do you call if you don't have, they're talking 5 years, case $25,000 to $100,000? What would you do, Dr. Ken?
I would not make a comment on the radio, first of all. Because
first of all, I just asked you a question, Dr.
Well,
Ken.
I'm not an advice giver as it relates to personal criminal things. I think you should talk to another lawyer and talk to the prosecution and see what the rights are. But I'm not a lawyer, so I really can't give legal advice. If
Dr.
it happened,
Ken, now I'm not.
Let me finish. But if it happened to me. I would find a lawyer who could at least explain not just the process, but actually explain what are the alternatives that can happen. If the person pleads guilty, if the person pleads no contest, if the person goes to trial. You already know how much it may cost. Now you just have to figure out which decision you want to make. But I can't really say what you should do because I'm not an attorney.
And you gave me just what I needed to hear. I'm not your biggest fan. We disagree on political issues.
You don't know whether or not we disagree.
Because I don't tell my political. You're a man of principle. You're still a man of principle.
So you're not a man of principle, so we don't...
No, I said you see why we... I know, real sir, out of all respect, I thank you for what you just said. I didn't even think of that last part you said of this. That's why you come to a globe head like you.
Thank you. Okay? I appreciate that. I do have a globe head. Look at that. Shining.
Okay, there you go.
I appreciate that.
No, but fair. Very neutral.
I try.
All right, then. I appreciate it, sir.
All right. Appreciate you, Mike. Take care.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Bye.
All right.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's good, y'all? This is 1017 The Truth's Telly Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. The goal of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is to provide a platform for citizens of Milwaukee and Truth Nation to have their voices heard about concerns that have daily, direct impact. So join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year in 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Your drink, sir? This virtual vacation is brought to you by Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. For the full experience, visit flymke.com to explore our many nonstop destinations. With super convenient parking and low fares, flying from Milwaukee makes traveling so easy, it's like starting your vacation early. Fly easy, fly MKE.
Hi,
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi there, this is Pastor Richard D. Shaw of the St. Matthew CME Church, encouraging you to vote in this upcoming election. Your vote is your power. Every ballot counts and matters. Your vote shapes the future and can impact generations to come. Don't wait, get engaged, and get to the polls. Voting is not just your right, it's your opportunity to impact your community and inspire others. So rally your friends and family and let's create the change we want to see. Vote early or vote the day of. Just vote and be heard.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Hang out at 6 o'clock. We got the final Truth on Politics coming up. Myself and Tori Lowe and Jay Fields will be hanging out talking about what's going on and how we going to do this and what we do if whoever wins and all sorts of things like that. So, also want to remind you, Milwaukee, time is almost here. We have been entering Truth fans into the Gruber Office's 5K giveaway for the last 3 months. This Thursday, Halloween, October 31st, we finally pick our next One Call That's All $5,000 giveaway winner. So make sure you tune in to DT and Telly on Truth Be Told Halloween Day so you don't miss your call, because if you do, they will go down to the next caller until they find their $5,000 winner. Remember, Gruber 5K giveaway this Thursday, Halloween, on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, right here, right now. So y'all might lose it, or you might get it. Maybe you could pay for a 4-day weekend, or 4-day week, 3-day weekend, 4-day week. So they got it in Iceland, but I don't know if we could really. Well, Iceland's economy is like slamming now. It's booming because they went to a 4-day work week. So over 50% of the country's workforce accepted the offer of shorter work hours between 2020 and 2022. Two think tanks, the Autonomy Institute in the United Kingdom and Iceland's Association of Sustainability and Democracy, found that the number is higher for 2024. The study shows success. Shorter work hours have become widespread. I don't get it, but the economy is strong. They got a number of indicators that they're looking at, and the economic growth is 5%, a vast increase from 2% between 2006 and 2015. Unemployment rate was also one of the lowest in Europe, showing a strong indicator of the economy's vitality. The International Monetary Fund's World Economic Outlook found the rate stood stagnant at 3.4%, a little over half the average of other European economies. Rates are expected to go up 3.8% in 2024 and 2025. Prior years, between 2015 and 2019, the two larger trials performed where public sector employees work between 35 and 36 hours a week without a reduction in pay. With 2,500 participants, which is more than 1% of the country's working population at the time, majority had previously worked 40 hours a week. The goal was to maintain or increase productivity while work-life balance improved, which it really can't because you just pay attention to one to pay attention to the other. But the data showed productivity stayed the same or heightened in most employee environments, while employees' well-being actually increased dramatically on certain things like stress, burnout, and health. So researchers examined the results, and basically they found 62% of the people with reduced work hours between 2022 and 2024 were found to literally be more satisfied with their work time, while only 4% were dissatisfied. 78% reported overall satisfaction with the present work time. So California bill, they're looking to cut work hours, lengthen the weekend. And this is from last year. They were still trying to do that. I don't know if business will allow people to do that. 833-212-1017. Would you work a shorter work week? Look at Jason. Jason like grabbing the mic. Yes, I would. Yes. I mean, it's like adamant he would work a short work. Like, really?
Because you got to understand, the weekend is not really a weekend. It's not 2 days. You got one day.
You got one day to recuperate from the 5.
All you got is Saturday. Sunday does not count.
Why not?
Because your mind, you too busy prepping for Monday, the start of the week. If we had Friday and Saturday off, we got 2 full weeks to get our mental right.
Days.
Oh yeah, days. We got 2 full days.
He already took 2 weeks off.
we go feel more refreshed and more productive.
Nah.
Yes. I'm trying to tell you, Dr. Ken.
So what about school?
School, same thing.
Right? We got to, and really they break it down because that's their way of being able to have a process to teach people, and pay people. So they divide it out into, you got to spend so many hours in the classroom and so many hours reading and writing, all that. So I get it, but I don't know if the model works anymore. I don't know if it works. Would you work a 4-day work week? But then how many hours is it? Because everybody's bent on 40 hours. And I'm like, why is it 40? Why can't it be 35? Why can't it be 30? Like, what is that? Like, I would rather work, I don't know. I've worked longer days and I've worked shorter days. And I don't know. Would you work 7 days a week for 4 hours a day? Or would you work 4 days a week, 10 hours? Or does it have to be 40?
I don't 4-day, 10 hour.
You would rather do the 4-day, 10 hour?
Yeah.
How about the 4-day, 8 hour and just work 32 hours and be done?
That's ideal.
Miss Carolyn, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
I agree with Jason. I'll take those shorter hours and them shorter days. Because when I used to live in Spain, they would shut the town down at 12 noon.
Yep.
And go home and have siesta and all that, and they touch whatever. And then they would open the cup at 5. And I'm like, oh, that works for me. So, yeah, I would take a shorter work week.
But
I did it before, but then I still had my 40 hours because I worked 4 days, 10 hours.
But when you say they open up at 5, are you saying that when they open up at 5, they go back to work?
Yeah, they go back to work.
And work till when? Like how long?
It depends. Some of the merchants work to 6, some work to 8.
Wait. Time out.
Some of the bars
Time out.
12.
What do you mean till 6? They went back at 5.
Yes.
They work an hour?
Will close an hour later.
They work an
because they go into the bars.
Oh my God.
That's because they go into the bars, and this was a little town called Rota in Spain.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Rota. So they.
It depends on what their business was.
Wow.
Because like my babysitter and stuff, I would go and get my kid and stuff. So I went out and had happy hour. Okay.
Wow.
So they would be asleep when I got off of work.
Wow. So you get off at
and I think we will
12, and you go back to work at 5 and work 1 hour?
It depends on the merchants. Those were like the fishermen, but the other ones and stuff, they worked to 8 and 9. And of course, the bar stayed open till like 11 and 12.
Of course. All right, thank you much, Miss Carolyn. I think I'm going to be looking to move to Spain. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Wow. So they really work the same hours. They just, I guess they either worked less hours or they just split up the day. But that's a heck of a time off. That's a heck of a time to go to work till 12, take off till 5, and then, well, I guess you'd have the energy. I guess you would have the energy to literally go to work from what, 8 to 12, and then come back at 5 o'clock and work till 8? That's a 7-hour day. You have a siesta in the middle of your day? Like, what is that? I mean, can you imagine the utilities must love it because you're going home. So you got to pay for electricity, you got to pay for gas, and you got to pay for water. Because I'm not going to bed, take a siesta, then get up and go to work. You know, I got to brush my teeth, I got to take another shower, and then go back to work. And it's every day. So you're showering 2-3 times a day? Wow. Siesta must work for the economy. But then there's no reason that you can't work 7 days a week if you're taking 4 hours off every single day. And I bet they didn't do more work, did they? Nope. They probably did less. I mean, how do you wake up from a sound sleep, go back to work? Like, I don't want you working machinery. I don't want you driving nothing. And then the bar's open, so you get to go drink. Like, what is a part-time job? Do you work 8 to whatever, or do you work like 8 to 12 and then you're done for the day? You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Maybe I'm going to take I can't take a 4-hour work week because I only work, anyway.
Tap into Milwaukee's most entertaining morning show.
Telly was getting frustrated because he couldn't connect to Wi-Fi, and he was like, Tony said, oh, crud. I was like, wow. Crud? Oh, crud. Crud knuckles.
And Tony get all of my words on the golf course because I don't curse, and if I do something wrong, my go-to word is fudge.
Listen to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I push through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Good doc, that bum who pretended to be a comedian, the caller, he's on a rampage today. Didn't even get laughs from a room full of skinheads, Nazis, and Klan members. The world is viewing the circus Trump is creating in 1980. Hitler used similar tactics. Good doc. I would challenge that, but then you'll say that I'm supporting Trump, and then it'll go down, the rabbit hole and all that kind of ridiculousness. You do understand that not all Republicans are racists and Nazis and Klan members and skinheads, because the organization that actually did that were the Democratic Party. And so I think one of the things you're arguing about is kind of disingenuous, because if you understood history the way you understood history, Democrats were the ones that kept us enslaved, and Democrats were the ones that stopped us from getting votes. And this argument that everything switched over was just a convenient argument, when in fact the number of people that switched from the Democratic to the Republican Party, you can count, but we just make this assumption that they switched. And they didn't. They just kind of came at a new angle. That's why black people are still only 13% of the population. Regardless of all the teen pregnancies we've had, we've never exceeded that. And they've made sure that certain things were in place, that we didn't get certain jobs and all that. So when you talk about that, my experience has been, even though I'll never tell you who I'm voting for, you might assume, but you're wrong. We tend to always get this promise and nothing in return. And then when you challenge it, you're called a misogynist. But you're saying you're doing it for us. We're asking you or telling you these are the issues we have with what you're suggesting. And when we do that, we're called misogynists or racist or sexist or whatever. And it's a childish way, and it's what's called an ad hominem attack, right? Oh, you're stupid, right? We just call you a name instead of arguing the point that you're making. And so we are where we are, and now we have to deal with the fact that we have political differences that when you try to challenge Republicans and what they say and what they do and how they present themselves, they get mad. And Democrats, when you challenge what they say, what they do, they get mad. And they defend themselves. And it's just unfortunate. It is unfortunate because in the end, the only people that never win is us. The only people that never get what's promised is us. Now, we say we got these loans. Vice President says she's going to come out with these loans, $1 million or however many million dollars of loans to entrepreneurs. Well, not all black men are entrepreneurs. So that then what? Limits the amount of black people. Then you're going to give money. Well, you can't say you're going to give it to men because that's discriminatory. You'll literally end up like in jail, prison, because like it's discrimination to only give loans to men. Or only give loans to women, or black, white, Hispanic, Asian. The only people, or Pacific Islander, the only people that it's not are indigenous people to an extent. So when you promise to give men this stuff, and out of the out of the 13% of black people, men are the minority. And then out of that, with white people making up 65%, it's a significantly small number of black males that will get any of that money if it comes to fruition. But you can't, because what? It's discriminatory. You can't just, hey, I'm only going to give it to them. I don't get it. And so we go through this thing, and once again, just because you're getting promised something by someone that looks like you doesn't mean you're going to get it. We get that locally all the time. Stuff is promised to you by black people, and then you still don't get it. And I'm not saying trust the black Republican either, or Republican. I'm saying pick your poison. Because both of them, yeah, I don't get it. Real Republicans better take back their party like Colin Powell and John McCain. They're both dead. Told them to before it's too late, elder brother. Republican Party is never going to go back to what it used to be, and neither is the Democratic Party. They used to be the parties of, what's the word I'm looking for? Respect and dignity. And now I personally think both of them are just, I think both of them are garbage. I'm just saying.
Number 5.
From blackenterprise.com, we talked about it earlier. Ballot boxes in the Northwest U.S. were set afire today in, what's today? Tuesday? Yesterday. In linked attacks, according to the FBI, authorities are investigating 3 separate but linked instances of ballot boxes being set on fire in Oregon and Washington, the Oregon Live reports. While only 3 ballots were destroyed in Multnomah County, hundreds were destroyed in Clark County precinct that also hosts a nationally watched congressional race. Portland Police Bureau reported that an incendiary device was placed inside a sidewalk ballot box in the Central City District, and by the time officers arrived around 3:30 a.m., security personnel in the area had already extinguished the flames. Portland police believe they identified a suspect vehicle in the case after security cameras from the Multnomah County Elections Office recorded a Volvo stopped at the drop box shortly before the fire was detected. So we don't know the motive behind these acts, said Portland Police Bureau Assistant Chief Amanda McMillan said in a release. We do know acts like this are targeted and they're intentional, and we're concerned about that intentional act trying to impact the election process. We're dedicated to stopping this kind of behavior. So it started. It's a week out. And that's one of the reasons why you don't need ballot drop boxes, and drop boxes have to be in very specific places so that people understand that it's actually safe. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, well.
Number 4.
From Axios.com, 50 million Americans have already voted. This from Sam Baker. 50 million Americans have already voted a week ahead of Election Day, according to the University of Florida Early Vote Tracker. Why does this matter? Well, as both candidates hit the trail for one last week of campaigning, a whole lot of votes have already been cast. Roughly 39% of those voters are registered Democrats, 36% are registered Republicans. There's a plurality of 41% that's older than 65, and a total of about 100 million people voted in early 2020, either in person or by mail. So it's going to be interesting. That's a lot of people that have already voted, and as we keep going, it's going to get more interesting, I think. But who am I?
Number 3.
In a final stretch to approve Milwaukee County's budget for 2025, officials and residents are calling for changes to funding for a handful of county-run services and projects. With funds stretching thin, questions about spending are nothing new as the county board grapples with tough fiscal decisions during the tight upcoming budget year. County faces a $1 billion capital projects backlog. Think about what I just said. $1 billion capital projects. Now, a capital project is infrastructure. Backlog. An unexpected sales tax shortfall, looming departmental fiscal cliffs, and a knock-on effect of the sheriff's office struggles to rein in overtime spending. So, of the roughly 60 registered speakers at the county's packed annual public hearing on the 28th of October, yesterday, many call for amendments to County Executive David Crowley's 2025 proposed budget, which would include allocating funding to Rescue Legal Aid Society's successful Right to Counsel project, assure the future of the Mitchell Park Domes, and the reopening of the Hell's Corners pool. Really? Well, all amendments approved by the Finance Committee are ultimately subject to a full county vote. That's going to happen on November 7th, and Crowley will have the opportunity to approve or veto the budget. So we're at a fiscal cliff in the county, and there's a number of county programs, resources, those types of things that we look to receiving. And when we don't, what will that do? What will that do for the aging people? Right? What will that do to the people who really need access to resources like elderly centers and things like dealing with elder abuse, the county parks that give you places to go during the day, day centers, That's interesting. That is interesting. And so we're going to wait till November 7th. We have to put that on our calendar to track that on November 7th so that we can. And that's 2 days after the election? Election is what, the 6th? The 5th, right? So it's 2 days after the election. Interesting timing.
Number 2.
Where you live in Milwaukee can be a result of lingering effects of discriminatory practices in early and mid-20th century. This is from JS Online. Racially restrictive covenants, government-backed redlining practices that denied black home loans. They've all had a hand in where people live and where they couldn't. The University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee now has a new Center for Equity Practice and Planning Justice, wants to deconstruct and mitigate the remnants of those policies that still shape and hyper-segregate Milwaukee today. Kirk Harris, a UWM urban planning faculty member who leads the center, says segregation has been put in place over centuries as a function of policy, law, and practice. It's baked into the placemaking that we have done in our modern times. Placemaking, as Harris calls it, refers to the zoning, housing, and economic development policies that shape community development and construction. Those are some of the things that Sandra talks about when she calls, or Vincent talk about when they called and talk about how Milwaukee was and how it used to be and how it came to be and why people live where they live. That's exactly what they're talking about. The structural impacts of segregation, Harris said, have affected more than where people live. They also created inequalities in community investment, infant mortality, education, and environmental conditions. We have to get him on the show as soon as possible. Got to get him on the show because there's a federal complaint right now that accuses Milwaukee of creating containment zones where low-income people are concentrated. I mean, think about that. Why is it that only certain people live in certain parts of town, right? This is back as far back as August of 2022. There's a federal complaint. 2 Milwaukee property owners are accusing the city of creating containment zones of people living in poverty and with disabilities, but the local alderman framed the case as part of a longstanding feud involving the plaintiffs, the city, and a local rooming house. And so we just find it interesting that these fights are continuing to go on today. And luckily, we have a Tier 1 institution like UWM in place to really work at and come up with a solution to create something better. So we'll see.
Number 1.
This also from JS Online, a consultant's report recently outlining the potential closure or merger of 13 Milwaukee public school buildings laid out the problems clearly. 1 in 4 schools in the district have too many students. Another 1 in 4 are wasting space. Meanwhile, academic programs are poorly distributed across the city, and enrollment is declining. The findings are striking, but get this, they're not new. MPS has already spent $956,000 on a facilities analysis by MGT Consulting Group, which they are now literally holding a meeting in 12 minutes at the MPS building on Ballot about this very thing. At the time, MGT representatives said, this is 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 6 years. Said the district had too many schools and too few students, meaning the district's costs were too high, driving issues with delivering high-quality academic programs. They said you could choose to do nothing relative to this, and it will continue to get worse. 6 years later, the district is looking for solutions to the same overarching problems. So now, in March, they approved what? An $837,000 contract with consultant Perkins Eastman to complete what? A similar analysis. So let me see. Somebody help me out. 873 and 956. Can you add those up for me? Oh, wait a minute. I got a cell phone in front of me. Let me do that. Okay, let me see how much Let me see. I don't want to do this. 956 plus $837,000. Okay. $1.793 million to come up with the exact same analysis that you already paid for 6 years ago, as if it changed in 6 years. Here's what the consultant found in 2018, and the recommendations compare one by one. Consultants in 2018 told MPS they had 1,100 unused classroom seats. How does that compare? Issues identified, basically the same thing. They also found current MPS students don't attend the school nearest them, often moving from north side schools to south side ones, because we still believe this idiocy that if you go to a white school, it's a better education. Now, let me go to sidebar. Brown versus the Board of Education is the one thing that messed up education for black kids throughout the entire country. They immediately said that the best way for black kids to get a better education was to put them in white schools, because it was inherently believed that white schools are better than black schools. And they promptly closed the black schools, got rid of the principals, got rid of the teachers, didn't hire them in the white schools, and then put black kids on buses and shipped them across town. And we wonder why it doesn't work. Taking all these factors into account, Perkins Eastman and MPS released that list last week we talked about. New academic program or building upgrade, expand, merge, whatever it is, we have to figure out what's next. Well, tonight, right now, in 9 minutes, MPS board will review a progress report on the facilities. And they're scheduled today. It's open to the public, and they've already told families and staff that it hasn't made a final decision. They have to gather more community feedback. Why do you bother when you're only going to do what you want to do? You're only going to do what you want to do. It's unfortunate, but we've had this thing in our brain that public school is the best. But I told you the other day, all black children are the new cotton. The same people keep making more and more money, and administrators and administration keeps making more and more money off keeping black kids in public schools, but they're not learning. And if the outcomes aren't there, I don't care whether you love public schools or not. If they're not cutting the mustard, and how hard is it to cut mustard? Virtually easy. But we don't do that, right? We just kind of let them go. And so now our kids are failing, our schools are failing, we have no outcomes. They don't even teach to the test. They don't think our kids can learn. And we have some of the best and brightest right here in Milwaukee. And when we look to the school board, what do we get? Do we get leadership? Nope. We get nothing.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation! And all our juicy jammers out there. Make certain that you tap into Jam with Juice each and every day so you can quench your thirst. That is right. You already know you can sip on us every single day, like Benjamin said, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. But that's not all, y'all. Catch us exclusively on YouTube for our 6 to 7 show. Yep, only on Thursdays. Catch Jamming with Juice each and every day on 1017 The Truth. Now sip on that.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place? You know, that spot that only you know about? And instead of what you came for, you found something a little different. What if instead of your private stash, you found a simple phone number, 1-800-662-HELP? What would you do? Would you stop and give it some thought? Would you make the call? The truth is, all drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, before drugs turn your life upside down, before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. If you or someone you love is struggling with drug use or prescription drug misuse, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral. Or go to samhsa.gov/thereishelp.
At We Energies, we're committed to building a bright, sustainable energy future. We're investing in clean energy projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. As a leader in the decarbonization effort, our goal is to achieve net zero carbon emissions from our generation fleet by 2050. It's part of our plan to provide the affordable, reliable, and clean energy you depend on. Learn more at weenergies.com. We Energies, people you can trust, energy you can depend on. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
Hits 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Get the look you want for your home with customizable windows and doors from Pella. The durability of materials gets tested tens of thousands of times to ensure they last for years to come. Pella offers custom colors and innovative features like shades between the glass. And right now, celebrate Gina Della's 60th birthday with 0 for 60. Put 0 down, get 0 interest for up to 60 months. Hold your appointment on or before November 8th. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. What's up, Earl? You're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Hey. You're on the air.
Man, there's so much failure. There's so much failure in MPS. It's pathetic. It's a shame that they have to do so many consultants all this money. You have to think about it. Why is it the fact that they got to consult the consultant with a consultant?
And then have a meeting about it. Because we got to get public input. The public's going to tell you that you're overspending money and that you haven't taught our kids? Like what?
Well, because it's a shame that our kids are failing so much, and because we have all these idiots in charge.
No.
We got a bunch of idiots with degrees in charge. They're using the money the way they want to use it, and it's not benefiting the kids.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
How many kids could have learned to be electricians and plumbers with $800,000?
That is very true.
And it's crazy to think that we keep putting these cats or these women or whoever it is in office, and they benefiting from it because they get a check from being in office. So as long as they keep damaging the kids, it's all right.
Well, I don't know if they're I guess you got to engage with kids in order to damage them, so they don't really engage. Like, I don't know if they really think these kids can learn anyway.
You can do it from afar too now.
That's true. That's true.
You can do it from afar. You can make programs that don't make sense and nobody benefits from it, but the people that's receiving the money. And it's a shame that we sit here and we talk about this. We've been talking about this for years.
Decades.
Remember they want, decades, centuries. And it's a shame.
But we've had an opportunity to take care of it. We just won't. We think that having somebody black in office is the panacea. It's the way we're going to take care of it. But yet we get mad at white people for doing the same thing.
No, it's not necessarily, I don't think it's black, because I'm going to vote for the person that's best fit the program that I'm looking to run.
Right.
Because if you got 30 kids and only 2 of them learn, that's a problem.
But if you don't look at why they're not learning, you have to take a look at it. And everybody, I've never met an educator that didn't want to start a task force or a blue ribbon panel and look at stuff into oblivion. Why is it taking so long for buildings that that have been torn, that have been worn down, and then it's going to take you another 10 years to do a plan? Like, that is the most idiotic thing I've ever seen. Most of those people will be retired by the time they get rid of those buildings. But yet we got a plan and we're going to discuss facilities. It doesn't make any sense.
Didn't you say they had a plan they did in 2018?
They got the same information.
2024?
They got the same information in 2018. They paid another firm, I guess because 6 years went on, like they got more kids out of nowhere. And now it's worse.
And not only that, it's the fear factor that we got to keep doing this so we can keep our jobs, because it can make it look like we've been doing something. I mean, it's crazy to think that these kids, that we don't want to see these kids learn. So people, if you smart, teach your kids at home before they go to school. So
that should be done anyway.
Your kids know how to read and write. Well, it's a lot not doing it.
Well, I don't know if your kids will know how to read and write. I don't know if parents have the skill set to teach kids how to read and write, right? But they do have the opportunity to read to them. They have the opportunity for them to look at pictures and words beforehand.
Right. But don't buy them guns and toys. Buy them educational pieces so they can benefit from it.
Well, I think we're making an assumption of what the issue is without having checked and found out what the issue is. Well, it's some of it, but it's But if that were the case, then all kids would be shooting people, and all kids would be killing people, and all kids would be fighting, and they're not.
No, that's not. No, I'm not saying that. Not all kids, but if you send them to a book, and they don't read it, what's the purpose of sending them to the book? And if you don't have no books to read in school, there's a problem. Because I know when I was in school,
they have books to read. They have books to read.
Well, apparently they don't in MPS, because in the 3 years that I watched some kids, they never brought books home and did work.
But that doesn't mean they don't have books. That means they didn't bring the books home. Right?
Yeah, I mean, but it's always saying they don't. There's certain things they don't. Some of them don't have books. They say they don't have no money for books. So, I mean, but they got money for consultants.
Well, they got crates and stuff sitting in the basement at MPS of all the books and math and all the crap they got. So they do what they want to do, and the union, the union drives it. That's why you don't get what you want. That's the bottom line. We have too many of our family members that teach, and too many of our family members in administration at public schools, and none of them will rock the boat because that's where their bread and butter is. That's where they get their pension from. And then the unions take over, and the unions drive what happens, and they put in the school board, and we're going to continue to get nothing. And that's why I refuse to put my kids in public school.
Well, I mean, there are some public schools that these kids are benefiting from.
There are some public. Listen, most of public schools are doing a decent job. Most of the public schools are doing a good job. It's the ones that are doing bad. They seem to not allow them to do great, and I don't understand that. It's like kids can only do great up to a certain point. Look at how they've destroyed King. They've destroyed that school. That used to be the premier school in MPS. Now it's Reagan.
Oh, they wanted to. They wanted to do that.
Well,
because of where it was at.
No,
we know that.
No, that happened under a black superintendent, not a white one. All right, thank you much for your call. I appreciate you, Earl. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm running a little behind. Wayne said, Dr. Ken, drop boxes were never an issue until the last 10 years. Again, how is it you can buy stock online and vote on the board of directors based on stock you own securely online, but we can't figure out how to vote for elected officials the same way? Because it allows the politicians to be able to hawk their wares and do what they want to do because it gives them maximum time. You do realize 6 months before the election, you could actually vote and be done and vote that person in or out, and they'll know 6 months before. Why are we waiting until 3 months before? You get sworn in January 20th, but we vote in November. Why? If it's electronic, we could vote January 1st, January 10th. Roll out, you got 10 days. January 20th, you out. And we're done. And we start Congress, and but we don't do that because it's advantageous to those that are already in office. So that's how we do stuff. It's advantageous to the teachers. It's advantageous to the union. It's advantageous to the school board. So we just continue to do MPS the way we do it until somebody comes in and has a wholesale change. Only way that's going to happen is through the legislature. They're going to have to come in and change the way. We're going to have to somehow put in something that says if you are a board member, you cannot take money from anyone that represents a union. Now, if individuals want to give you money, great. But a union can't give you money. Just like the laws, right, for federal qualified immunity I talked about the other day, and Wisconsin Professional Police Association and Milwaukee Police Association are in support of it. They should not be able to give any money or any endorsements to anything that has to do with that. If individually you want to tell your members to do it, let them choose to do it. But the union should not be voicing anything. I think it's great that the AFL-CIO, the Teamsters, said, we ain't endorsing nobody. We're going to let the membership vote for who they want to vote for, and we're not endorsing anybody. I think that's a great thing, but we need to do that with the school boards. Because the school boards kiss the ring of the union and do everything the union wants. When that woman who represented the presidency stood up at that meeting when Posley resigned and actually said that she was only there to make sure the teachers in the union got the raise they were agreed upon and didn't say anything about the children, that's when I knew MPS was in trouble.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm done voting for Democrats this year. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Senator Baldwin's policies have crushed Black Americans. We are paying more for food, clothes, and everyday items than ever. It's harder than ever to find affordable housing. Democrats say defund the police. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Who pays the price when there aren't enough cops on the street? Whose neighborhood gets violent? We see that violence and pay that price, not people in the suburbs. It's folks like us trying to go to work, take care of our kids, live our lives, wondering if something's going to happen on our block. How about jobs? Democrats let 12 million illegal aliens come here the last 4 years. Who are they taking jobs from? Not people in the suburbs. They take those jobs from us. I'm done voting for Democrats this year.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Hovde for Wisconsin.
CBS Tonight.
If there's more violence coming, we can stop this together.
My team is on their way. Let's get to work. New FBIs are back.
The assassins are inbound.
He has a knack for finding the suspect.
I'm too old for this crap. CBS Tuesday.
This will be dangerous. Must be Tuesday.
Is FBI Night.
I want you to trust me.
I trust you.
Tonight on CBS 58. The CBS 58 News at 10 with Natalie Shepard.
I think if you watch the other stations, you might think nothing good ever happens in Milwaukee, and we know that's just not true.
And Jessup Riceback.
We do find solutions to some issues in our communities.
We are focused on finding stories that are impactful, and I think that's something that really sets our newscasts apart.
It is an honor to sit in those chairs on that desk and help tell those stories.
Jessup and Natalie. Weeknights at 10 on CBS 58, your hometown station.
Your drink, sir?
This virtual vacation is brought to you by Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. For the full experience, visit flymke.com to explore our many nonstop destinations. With super convenient parking and low fares, flying from Milwaukee makes traveling so easy, it's like starting your vacation early. Fly easy, fly MKE.
The WIAA football playoffs is here. We have a huge battle this Friday night as the number 1 seeded Marquette Hilltoppers take on the number 4 seeded De Pere Redbirds. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Left's Lucky Town, Boyle Frederickson Intellectual Property Law, and Marquette University High School.
All right, we got some trouble on the freeway. Well, technically on the freeway because we've got this ramp closure from 894 northbound to eastbound 94 in the zoo, all because of a crash. And then beyond that, you're going to see delays on and off the brakes all the way through the stadium interchange. We also have an accident, but this off the freeway near it. Basically, it's on Good Hope Road eastbound, and they've closed off the ramp from northbound 41 to eastbound Good Hope Road because of this accident there. So you might want to avoid that area if you can. Otherwise, southbound 43, we are seeing backups from Locust all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge heading down towards Lapham. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, windy, a low of 66. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, windy, and warm. Evening and night storms with a high of 78. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on 101.7 The Truth.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Bucks fell for the third straight time last night, this time to the Celtics in Boston by a final of 119-108. Despite falling to a 1-3 start, Giannis says it's way too early to panic.
It's the fourth game of the season. Even if we suck, even if we were very, very bad, it's the fourth game of the season. Like, you have to be optimistic.
Next up for the Bucks is a matchup in Memphis on Thursday night. Over to the NFL, where the Green Bay Packers got encouraging news surrounding quarterback Jordan Love and his groin injury on Monday.
He seemed like in good spirits. If he can go, he'll go. We'll see where he's at by the end of the week, and if we feel like he can't protect himself, then we certainly wouldn't put him in that position.
According to multiple reports, an MRI showing nothing serious for number 10, who is now considered day-to-day. And lastly, over to baseball, where the Dodgers took a 3-0 lead with the 4-2 win last night in New York. They'll look to clinch the World Series title tonight. Game 4's first pitch is set for 7:08. The sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Basically, it's vote for whoever you want unless it's Republican. That's what Marcus said. Wayne also said, Dr. Ken, owning a business does not have to be directly tied to entrepreneurship. But what is it tied to? Like entrepreneurship literally means owning a business. I believe every African American should have an LLC with them listed as sole owner for tax purposes, if nothing else. But it has to be legal, and you have to use it for a legal entity, and you have to transact business, or else it is not a business. It's a hobby, just like if you do something and pretend like it's a hobby and it ends up being a business. Like, you can't do that. You got to follow the law. I get it, as long as you're generating income for your business. You can't just decide you want to start a business and do all that. I'm just saying. 833-212. I haven't checked, 101.7thetruth.com. I haven't checked YouTube today. My bad. I have not checked YouTube. I could be in trouble. Let me see if I got some people on the chat. B said, I just applied to be a poll worker. My high school age daughter also applied. They also 16 and 17 years old to help as well. This will be my first time. I think it's important to be involved in the entire rally. Well, we don't know if did you watch the entire rally? The one in Madison Square Garden? Somebody is saying the rally was filled with hate. I hope you watched it and then say that it's full. Because sometimes people just say, hey, it's filled with hate. And, I'm just saying, be accurate. That's all. 833-212-1017 is the number. And congratulations, B, for really being the, I guess that's redundant, BB. Thank you for stepping up with you and your high school age daughter and applying, and they allow 16 and 17-year-olds to help. I think that is phenomenal. I think that is something, as long as children remain in the middle, remain unbiased, and do it the right way, because that's the proper way to do it, I think it's great. And it sounds like following after B, they're going to do a great job. I think they're going to be doing a great job. 833-212-1017 is the number.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The Greater Milwaukee Urban League's 39th annual Black and White Ball is Saturday, November 2nd, and we want you to join us in the celebration. Tune in to 1017 The Truth's Black and White Ball After Party, hosted by me, Dr. Ken Harris, from 10 to 11 p.m. on Saturday, November 2nd. Come join us. So make sure you get in on all the fun by tuning in to the Black and White Ball After Party show, Saturday, November 2nd, 10 to 11, on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Make Milwaukee work for you. 1MKE provides easy-to-use information on local, state, and federal programs that can save you money and improve your well-being. Discover events you can attend to get involved in your community and find nonpartisan resources to help you make your voting plan for the upcoming election. 1MKE envisions a future where every Milwaukee resident understands how being civically engaged can help us create a healthier, stronger city. Because together, we are one Milwaukee. Learn more at 1mke.org.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
Milwaukee Health Services Incorporated is celebrating 35 years of serving all income and medically underserved populations of Milwaukee's metropolitan area. MHSI is a one-stop shop that provides medical, radiology, dental, pediatric, behavioral health, pharmacies with affordable medications, and more. Also, MHSI's new family medicine residency program, located at the Isaac Cobbs Heritage Health Center, has brought 28 family doctors to our area, which is significantly impacted by healthcare workforce shortages. Become a new patient today. To schedule an appointment, call 414-372-8080. Your health is their business.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Hey, Truth Nation, remember, 6 o'clock. That's in 12 minutes. We're going to have our final Truth on Politics tonight, 6 to 8. Great opportunity. You can learn about what's going on. Some of the stuff, did I put it in here? I didn't even send it to myself. Lordy lords. Some of the stuff we're going to be talking about. Let me bring it up so that we know. Forward. And then do that so I can send it to myself and then tell you what we're going to be talking about. And if you have any questions or comments, you can hit us on the Talking Text line. You can hit us on YouTube, on the chat, and then we'll be here to discuss those things. So we're going to be looking at some local issues and things that are going to be impacted by the November election, right? There are some things on the ballot that are important that we know about. We're gonna talk about, will MPS or local crime or issues with the budget shortfall in the county, like how will these be impacted if Harris wins? How will they be impacted if Trump wins? Will it matter, right? We're gonna be looking at the generation of the voter and the gender of the voter. How will those things play a part in how it impacts the vote? Because we're talking razor thin. At this point, the race is going to be won or lost by virtually, I would say, somewhere between 10 and 20,000 votes in Wisconsin. It's going to swing either way, right? We also have to look at the Talking Text line and the YouTube chat and see what it is you're thinking, what it is you're saying, what impact you're able to have, what questions you have. And then where's the local, like where's the current data on what's going on? What do the polls say? What do the polls actually say about who's going to win? Because right now, it's neck and neck. That plus or minus 5%, they've been within 1 to 2 percentage points of each other for the last 2 months. And so when people say, well, Harris is going to win, that's conjecture. Well, Trump is going to win. That's conjecture. Nobody knows. Polls don't even know. The polls aren't even telling you historically this is what happened because we don't have a historical. We've never had a person that was already in office running for president that was vice president, maybe once before, and we've never had a person who was former president run for president. Well, we may have had it once before, but I don't know if we had them running against each other. So two people who know politics, who understand how government works, who've been in office for 4 years each, are running. One will get it for 4 to 8 years. One will only get 4 years. Now we're hearing things about Donald Trump is going to be a fascist and he's going to put people in internment camps and all kind of stuff. And we're hearing things about Harris where people are going to have to spend more money. She's going to take all your money and make you broke and live in a slum. Like, it's just ridiculous. I've never seen two political parties that were so enamored with each other that they bash each other on idiocy. I've never seen that before in my years. But yet, that's what people do. That's exactly what people do. And so now we sit here and we go through the motions of what it'll look like. And so the latest presidential polls is well, it changes from state to state, and we're going to be following. Nationally, Harris has a 0.8% lead. That's on an average of 15 polls from today. So Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, Wisconsin, Trump is up by 0.2%. based on all of the Wisconsin polls. Florida, 51.2%. Like, all those things we're looking at are going to play a part. And so we're going to chop that up during the show. We're going to look at exactly what's going on with the data, with the information. And then we're actually going to ask each of the people, right? We're going to ask them, who will win. Not who you'll vote for, right? Not who you'll vote, who you're voting for, but actually who will win. No pontification, no platitudes of, oh, it'll be great. Just who do you think is the one? I just want one name. That's it. And that way people will be able to make up their minds. People will be able to understand. People will begin to see exactly what's going to happen November 6th. Because that's when it's really going to get interesting. Are we going to get protests? Are we going to get people fighting? Are we going to get people looting? Are we going to get people burning down? I hope we get people that'll lead the country. So the riffraff on the Republican and the Democratic side can go somewhere. And then we can have some real mature people show up and argue about what to do to move this country, this state, this county, and especially the city of Milwaukee forward. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Stay tuned for Truth on Politics tonight from 6 to 8. And then Tori Lowe's last hour will be kicking off in the 8 o'clock hour, and we will rebroadcast until 7 a.m. in the morning, where you can check out Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, as you do every day, Monday through Friday. Hey, God bless. Take care. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for texting. Thank you for calling. God bless. I'm out.